Welcome to a video all about concept maps. This video is going to be demonstrating maybe an easier way to make concept maps and perhaps to explain concept maps to your students. And this is a strategy for teaching students with disabilities. I have an entire series about strategies for teaching students with disabilities. So if you want to check those videos out, please do. They are on the New York City DOE YouTube channel that you can access with your DOE email. All right, let's get into concept maps. So why use concept maps? I'm sure you've already thought about this before, but concept maps help students recall information. They organize large amounts of information. They help students understand new information and the relationships between related information. And they aid in developing higher level thinking skills such as creating, analyzing, and evaluating. And of course, there are a plethora of other reasons why you should be using concept maps in your classrooms. And of course, if you've been using the DOE provided curriculum, you've been using concept maps this entire year. So who may benefit from concept maps? Students who struggle to connect new information to old information may benefit. Students with developing memory skills, students who prefer taking notes in a more visual way, and students with developing skills in making inferences will all benefit from concept mapping. So what are we doing in this video? Here are some concept map resources that we are going to be covering in this video. We are going to be going over Google Jamboard, Google Drawings, Lucidchart, and a few concept map websites that you can use. So let's jump into those resources. So I have my DOE email pulled up. I am going to make a concept map on Google Jamboard. To open up Google Jamboard, we want to go over Make New, scroll down and go over to this More section. And here we have Google Drawings, that'll be later. And my favorite is Google Jamboard. So we want to make a new Google Jamboard and it will open up something that looks like this. In order to make a concept map, I would suggest adding text first and then adding shapes. So here we have our toolbar and we can title this. And it's just like a Google Doc or a Google Slides. Right now we're on our select feature. We can click around. Let's add a text box though, and we can make this our center. The one thing I really like about Jamboard is that it's super simple. You will not get a ton of features on Google Jamboard, but that is what makes it so accessible, especially for students with disabilities. Okay, so we have our center. Let's say we want to add some outside bubbles. Outside, we can even duplicate by these three little dots over to the side, 3 dots, duplicate, and we can delete in the same way. Now, we can add our circles with this circle feature over here, and we can draw our circles. Now, if you notice they are filled with white, we can change the fill color as well as make it transparent. Now, if it's transparent, it'll still be on top. What I mean by that is that it is in front of the text. So let me make this green, and I'm gonna order this and send it to the back so I can see my text. All right, and then we can do the same thing. I can control copy, paste, 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 and arrange my other circles. And I made one too many, so I'm gonna delete this. Okay, now we need to add our lines. For our lines, I just use the pen feature. You can change this to a pen, marker, highlighter, or a brush and change the colors to any one of these 6 colors. Now, a lot of concept maps have squares on them too. For the squares, you can just add a sticky note and then it'll make a sticky note, and you can change the color to the sticky note, and then you can move the sticky notes to wherever you would like them to be. And of course, you can adjust the size of the sticky note, make them really small or really big. Now, say you want to use Jamboard for group work. So I just label this as group 1, then I will come up here, make a new slide, add frame, and use this as group 2's workspace. You can also duplicate with these 3 dots so that you don't have to keep doing the same template over and over again. You can also delete them if you would like. I will say something my students mess up is that they click this arrow and it creates a new frame. Create frame, and then just go back. But it will keep creating frames over and over again until we have a bunch of blank frames. Let's say I wanted to use this concept map for a background on Google Jamboard. I could save image as, then go over to our Jamboard, set background. Then we have all of these cool backgrounds, and then I can pick image, browse, and then choose our concept map that we just uploaded. And here you can see that now it's the background on that slide. And of course you can duplicate this slide if you want another Jamboard concept map. And that is a crash course on Google Jamboard in relation to concept maps. Let's move on to the next resource. So I am back in my Google Drive. I'm going to go to Google Drawings now. So new, more, Google Drawings. This is a little bit more complicated than Google Jamboard. So we have our untitled drawing here. Okay, to do a concept map here, we can title it, obviously. Then we can add our shapes. Shape here, and of course we have more shapes available here. It's a little bit more complicated. If that is a good thing or a bad thing, it just depends on what you want. So I can add a circle here. Then I can double click to add text into the shape. And then it's just like Google Docs formatting. So I can control copy, control paste, and make this an outside circle. I can adjust the color. Really, this is very similar to Google Docs and all other Google products. If you know your way around Google Slides, Google Docs, you will know your way around Google Drawings. So here we have a little concept map. Then I could go and add arrows with the select line feature. And then this cool thing that it does is it can connect your circles automatically. I want a heavier line. Then I want another arrow. Back over here, and then make sure you come back over to the select feature. And then of course you can add squares where you need to, add equations, all of that good stuff. So Google Drawings is really good for making concept maps if you already know your way around Google Docs. So if your students use Google Slides and Google Docs proficiently, this might be a fantastic option for them if they are graduated from something like Google Jamboard. All right, let's move into the next resource. And the next resource is Lucidchart, which if you are in your DOE email, you should have full access to, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Let's see. So go to new, more, Lucidchart is what I just did. And of course I want to go to MindMaps. Maybe I want a bubble map example. Open template. All right, and here I have my template right in front of me. Now this is obviously a lot more complicated than Google Jamboard and Google Drawings, which is why it's third on the list. But after you get the hang of it, it does become simpler. And you can present this Lucidchart like you would present a slideshow like this. And you can show this to your students in your Zoom or Google Meet classes. And I am actually not fluent in Lucidchart concept maps. I am going to play a video from Lucidchart themselves because they are way better at explaining their own site than I would be.
Create a mind map to expound on a single idea to create a web of thoughts, innovations, and conclusions, all without ever using a mouse. To get started building your mind map, first open the Shape Manager. Click plus Shapes in the toolbox or press the M key. Once the Shape Manager has opened, scroll down to the Other category and toggle on the Mind Mapping library, or search for it here at the top of the Shape Manager. Before exiting, press Save. Select a mind map shape and drag it onto the canvas. Notice that the text is immediately highlighted to enter custom text. Press Enter when finished. Now that you are starting to get your ideas on the canvas, use keyboard shortcuts to build out your mind map without interrupting your flow. Press Tab to create a child idea, Enter to create a sibling idea, F2 to edit text, Shift plus Enter will create a carriage run, which essentially creates a new line of text within your shape. Arrow keys will help to quickly navigate through your map. And lastly, press Z to collapse or expand children ideas. To see a list of MindMap shortcuts, simply go to the Documents page, select Templates, MindMap, and Blank Mind Mapping. This will open a new canvas with the MindMap library already imported, a list of your keyboard shortcuts, and you will be ready to roll. After a few minutes of practice, you will be building out mind maps faster than you ever have before.
All right, hopefully you understand Lucidchart just a little bit more if you would like to utilize that resource. Now let's jump into the websites that make concept maps. The first website that I want to touch on is called Koggle. So if you Google Koggle, it's the first link, and then you can use this free, but this is what the mind maps look like. Maybe you want to use a mind map over your entire unit. This might be a good way to store a very large concept map because you can keep adding and keep adding. I'm going to play this short video for you right now so that Koggle can explain how Koggle works.
Hi, welcome to Koggle. Koggle is a great way to understand, organize, and share information on any topic with colleagues, classmates, or just on your own. Let's sign in and create a new diagram. Click the central item to edit the title. I'm going to use this diagram to plan an awesome new business idea. Use the plus buttons to add branches. You can add as many as you need. Click on text to edit it, or drag an item to move it around. The structure of the diagram helps to keep your ideas organized. Right-click on an item to open the context menu. Here you can change its color, remove it, and all sorts of other useful things. After you've added some items, try inviting someone to edit with you. You'll see their changes appear instantly as they make them. And you can discuss your project right here in the Messages panel, making it really easy to work on anything together. Your diagrams are saved automatically. When you're done, click the Koggle logo in the top left corner to go back to your homepage, where you'll see everything you've created so far. Log in now to get started and find out why 1 million people have chosen Koggle to organize their ideas.
The second website is called MindMap. So mindmap.com, free online mapping. You can just create a free mind map just right away. You don't have to sign up or anything. You can just create a free mind map. And then here is what it looks like. Unfortunately, it does not do circles, or I haven't found a way to do circles, but you can double click to edit and then come over here to insert child node, which just means it's going to branch off. And then click back over here, insert a new child node, and it'll kind of keep going. It's a little bit automatic. As long as you know these two buttons, it's pretty good. You can also zoom in and look at it on a bigger scale. So I really like this website. You can also file, publish, or download as a PDF, which might be very useful if you're asking students to create mind maps or concept maps and then turn them in. This PDF option might be great. So MindMap is really good. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Again, these two buttons are your main two buttons, I would think. Hopefully you found something about this video helpful in order to help your students, especially those students with disabilities. Have a great day. I will see you in another video.